The Little Book of Ikigai. Live a happy and long life the Japanese way. So they made these two wishes out here. Less stress, better health, and greater happiness. It's all about the Japanese life philosophy Ikigai, says the Times, and is written by Ken Mogi. So I've taken it from the library. Ken Mogi is a neuroscientist, writer, and broadcaster based in Tokyo. He has published more than 30 papers on cognitive and neurosciences and over 100 books in Japan covering popular science, essay criticism, and self help. His books have sold close to 1 million copies. When it comes to transatlantic aspirational living, it's now all about Ikigai, says Ellie, the new lifestyle mantra, writes Sunday Times. Iki means to live and Gai means reason. So, note to the reader, he's written the 5 pillars of Ikigai. Throughout this book, I refer to the 5 pillars of Ikigai. They are pillar 1, starting small, pillar 2, releasing yourself, pillar 3, harmony and sustainability, pillar 4, the joy of little things, pillar 5, being in the here and now. These pillars come up frequently because each one provides the supportive framework, the very foundations that allows Ikigai to flourish. They are not mutually exclusive or exhaustive, nor do they have a particular order or hierarchy, but they are vital to our understanding of Ikigai and will provide guidance as you digest what you read in the forthcoming pages and reflect on your own life. Each time they will come back to you with a renewed and deepened sense of significance. I hope you enjoy this journey of exploration. Perhaps that is signature. So, Ikigai is a Japanese word for describing the pleasures and meanings of life. The word literally consists of Iki, that is to live, and Gai is reason. In the Japanese language, Ikigai is used in various contexts and can apply to small everyday things as well as to big goals and achievements. It is such a common word that people use it in daily life quite casually without being aware of it's having any special significance. Most importantly, Ikigai is possible without your necessarily being successful in your professional life. Ikigai resides in the realm of small things: the morning air, the cup of coffee, the ray of sunshine, etc. Only those who can recognize the richness of this whole spectrum really appreciate and enjoy it. So this is an important lesson of Ikigai. In a world where our value as people and our own sense of self-worth is determined primarily by our success, many people are under unnecessary pressure. You might feel that any value system you have is only worthy and justified if it translates into concrete achievements, a promotion, for example, or a lucrative investment. Well, relax. You can have Ikigai, a value to live by, without necessarily having to prove yourself in that way. So, Ikigai is, in a sense, a barometer which reflects a person's outlook on life in an integrated and representative way. Why did people with Ikigai also have reduced risk of suffering from cardiovascular disease? Simply that, he writes, maintenance of good health involves a large number of factors. It is difficult to say definitely what factors are ultimately responsible, but the reduction of cardiovascular disease would suggest that those who have Ikigai are more likely to exercise, since engagement in physical activities is known to reduce the risk of cardiovascular disease. Ken writes, I will show you that, of course, you don't have to be Japanese to have Ikigai. When I think of Ikigai as a private pleasure, I remember a special chair I encountered in the United Kingdom. So that's what he explains that. He says, for a couple of years in the middle of 1990s, I was doing postdoctoral research in the physiological laboratory at the University of Cambridge. I was lodging in a house owned by an eminent professor. When he showed me the room I would be staying in, he pointed to a chair and explained that it had sentimental value for him. His father had made it specially for him when he was a small child. There was nothing extraordinary about the chair, to be honest. It was rather clumsily made. The design was not refined, and there were ragged, irregular features here and there. If the chair was for sale in a market, it wouldn't have fetched much money. Having said that, I could also see by the glimmer in the professor's eyes that the chair had a very special meaning for him, and that was all that mattered. It had a unique place in the professor's heart just because his father had made it for him. This is what sentimental values are all about. And this is just a small example, but it is a powerful one. Ikigai is like the professor's chair. It is about discovering, defining, and appreciating those of life's pleasure that have meaning for you. It is okay if no one else sees the particular value, although as we have seen, that's what he writes, etc. He writes, pursuing one's private joys in life often leads to social rewards. You can find and cultivate your own Ikigai, grow it secretly and slowly until one day it bears a quite original fruit. So he writes, what are your most sentimental values? And second, what are the small things that give you pleasure? These are good places to start when it comes to finding your own Ikigai as a way to a happier, more fulfilled life. The second chapter is your reason to get up in the morning. Ikigai is sometimes expressed as a reason for getting up in the morning. It is what gives you an ongoing motivation for living your life, or you could also say that it gives you the appetite for life that makes you eager to greet each new day. Interestingly, he talks about Hiroki Fujita, who has a special reason to get up early every day. As a broker for tuna fish, he needs to get hold of the finest tuna and therefore can't afford to miss anything important that goes on at the market. And Fujita's customers depend on him. So, as the world discovers the heavenly, delectable taste of Toro tuna, more and more attention is given to the process of selecting and seasoning the best specimens. So Fujita examines dozens of tuna laid out on the floor of a special section of the Tsukiji fish market, trying to choose the best one for his impressive list of clients, most of them the top sushi restaurants in and around Tokyo, including, of course, Jiro. And he opines, because I'm always in pursuit of that special kind of fish, I think to myself, would I find the one if I go to the fish market today? The thought keeps me going. So he goes on to write, in the morning, assuming that you've had a sufficient amount of sleep, the brain has finished its important night job. It is in a refreshed state, ready to absorb new information as you start a day's activities. Saying good morning, oheyo in Japanese, and making eye contact activates the brain's reward system and leads to a better functioning of its hormonal regulations, which results in an improved immune system. All these effects have been shown to be statistically significant, although the causal links are not completely understood. So here that's how he's talking about getting up early. So he writes, that is a neurological explanation for why getting up so early is so important a part of Japanese tradition. But as we were just saying, there is also a cultural one. Japan is a nation which has always placed a high value on the morning sun. Japan is often referred to as the land of the rising sun in Western civilization. In Japanese language, the name of the nation is Nippon. That expresses the origin of the sun. The national flag of Japan, Hinomaru, circle of the sun, is a visualization of the idea of the land of the rising sun. The sun has been the object of worship as something that symbolizes life and energy for a long time in Japan. On New Year's Day, many people get up early or stay awake all night to see the first rising sun of the year. It is customary to climb Mount Fuji in the night so as to revere the rising sun from the peak. Many Japanese brands, including beer, newspaper, life insurance, matches, and a television station, use the rising sun as their theme. He writes, needless to say, you don't have to be born in Japan to practice the custom of getting up early. After all, every land is a land of the rising sun. Seen from the space station, there is no difference. At any moment, the sun is rising for some locations and setting for others. He writes, you might want to start a book club with the regular commuters on your journey or prepare a delicious breakfast that you can look forward to after a gentle jog or stretching exercises. Make the joy of little things work for you. Then you can also start your Ikigai in the morning. And much more. You must read the book. It's just wonderful. And one should have this in one's private library at home. So this is the back cover of the book where you can see the ISBN number. In Japan, Ikigai is the reason to get up in the morning. This ancient Eastern philosophy has never been so relevant. It has the potential to change your life and make you happier, showing you how to start small, find your flow, discover your passion, look for joy in the little things. Through the expert guidance of Ken Mogi, this wondrous gem of a book, and I agree, absolute gem, will help you realize and discover your very own Ikigai. It's a beautiful, adorable book, and you must have it in your library. Go ahead and buy.